Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas, learning a lot about Lake Center Christian School preschool and independent studies program, working with the homeschooled children in our area, which I just think is a brilliant thing to be doing. Okay, so we were in the middle of preschool.
Sure.
You were telling me what a day looks like. Let's pick up where we left off.
All right.
What is next?
So when we have all that free time, and during that time, there's another licensed teacher in the room with me. Her name is Mrs. Whitmer. Sometimes we're facilitating something. Sometimes we're playing a game. We might be, sitting in the restaurant, getting our food served to us. We're observing. We're jotting things down. Then after that time is done, we for sure have snack time. And we do that family style. The kids pour their own drinks, and they have to serve each other. We work on social graces.
Hang on. They're pouring their own drinks?
Yeah, I have little tiny pitchers.
Okay.
And they pour. And we have a drawer full of little cloths. If there's a spill, go get the cloth. That's part of learning.
More learning.
Being responsible for yourself. Because you don't get that fifth grader who all of a sudden remembers to bring home his math book unless you started earlier, being responsible for you.
So smart.
And so we do that. And then we have time to go outside. In the nice weather, we go outside a lot longer than in the bad weather. And even that is a whole bunch of learning. We might be rolling down the hills. People say, what are they rolling down the hills for? And it's like pre-reading skills, actually, believe it or not.
Right.
Proprioception.
That's right, yeah.
So, and then the morning kids will go home about 11:30. In between there, too, we have some other group times, and that really depends on how long free time has gone. It's shorter days we're not playing well. It's longer days when everything is going great. During those times, we read stories. We often have a project going, and we talk about projects. I can tell you more about what a project is, too. We might have some things to discuss about a project, and so that gets thrown in there, too.
Okay.
And then the afternoon, kids stay for lunch and rest and some more free time.
It just sounds like a wonderful day.
We have a
Let me
good
take you
time.
back to, let's circle back to projects. What kind
Yeah.
of projects are these little ones doing?
Well, part of my philosophy of education has grown out of the Reggio Emilia idea. I would love to.
What is that?
It's a philosophy. A lot of schools call themselves Reggio inspired. This is a city in Italy that really has taken off in making the learning relevant to the kids because they're the ones that came up with it. So I don't come in and have planned like Penguin Week or something. When we do a project, it grows out of the kids' interests, and we discuss, we explore. We've done so many cool projects.
That's very close to homeschooling, isn't it?
Yes, it
Where the
is.
learning is so directed by a child's interest.
Yeah.
Yes.
So both of you talk to why that's so important?
Kids learn when they're interested. You've heard parents say, they can sit for 20 minutes playing with this video game and I can't get them to write their name. That's because they weren't interested. And also, if they're not interested, they might not be ready. But anyway, so when it grows out of their interests and when it's meeting them where they are, a 3-year-old's not going to build like a 6-year-old is. So he can meet it where he is, and the 6-year-old can meet it where he is, and you can get all the learning you want to tied into a project.
So the little ones are working on projects that they're interested in. Jane, what about your older students? Are they working on, you've got this room full and everybody's at a different level. Are they all on their own projects?
Some projects are according to the age, and some are whole group. We also do interest-based projects. I ask them what they want to do, what they want to study. We do an overview. We spend about 5 weeks studying a unit. They love the hands-on activities, and I try to develop each child's gifts, or not develop their gifts, but rather create projects that help their gifts to be better used. For instance, right now we're studying fine arts. And so we're studying some art and music theory and history. Some of my students that maybe aren't quite as creative with hands-on activities, but they can sing, they can write, and this gives them their opportunity to shine.
And every student that way is really playing to their strengths and
Yes.
building a
Yes.
little self-confidence and
Yes.
getting to become that person God created them to be.
Exactly. And I tell them that God has a good and perfect plan for their life, and that they just need to pray and ask God to reveal to them what it is that He has planned for them to do, and sometimes more than one thing.
Yeah, that's right. We're speaking with Joanne Barber and Jane Harris Harris. They're both from Lake Center Christian School. We learned a little bit about Jane's background. Joanne, tell us about yours. What brought you to Lake Center?
Well, I actually taught at Lake Center a long time ago in the 80s. I taught there for 7 years, and then I stayed home with my own kids for a long time. And then I went back. I worked at a Montessori school for a while, and then I worked at Malone, had the Weaver Child Development Center, which still exists, just not as part of Malone. And then about 6 years ago, because my kids were at Lake Center, I was asked to be on the education committee to help plan to see if we could even do a preschool. And I brought them to Weaver to get them an idea of what it could be like.
Yeah.
And they liked it enough, they hired me.
And so you've actually been the founder of the preschool there.
Yes.
And you've been in business how long?
At Lake Center, I think this is our 6th year.
Wow. So you're seeing children start there in preschool and go through. And do we have any students that have gone all the way through, started little and gone all the way through? You wouldn't have them.
My oldest bunch is in the 4th grade this year.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But we do have some who started kindergarten now and are graduating from high school, yeah?
Yeah, my own daughters, they didn't start there in kindergarten because we were involved at Weaver, but they did start in 1st grade or 2nd grade and go all the way through.
Well, that leads to my next question. What would you say, both of you, to parents who are considering what would be best, what would be the ideal learning experience for my child? What would you say about Lake Center?
I would say that you need to come and see the environment for yourself, because you know your child better than anybody is going to know. So will your child thrive, getting to build a castle out of boxes? Will your child thrive by, working with Jane and working with other kids in a kind of a one-room schoolhouse situation? Come and see if we can meet your need. I would say that even if you are a believer and you decide to come to Lake Center, don't leave it up to us to give your child all their spiritual teaching.
Yes.
It needs to come from home.
Yeah. Jane, you have anything to add?
Yes, I would say that biblical instruction from home is paramount. And I tell families that it's a personal decision for what is best for their child. And my advice is to pray for God's leading in that decision.
When we're talking about having children and being a family and being a good parent to those children, it is so important, isn't it, to work together.
Yes.
When it's an amazing thing when the church and the school and the family is all on the same page and everybody's rowing that boat in the same direction. Can you touch on that a little bit about the importance of faith in a child's development?
That's kind of the reason I even had my kids go to Christian school. I've got 4 daughters, and I wanted them to hear at home and at church and at school the same message. They can build their worldview on truth. I know that you can do well at homeschool. I know you can do well in public school. I've got friends who have done the same. But for my kids, I wanted to be same, no matter where they went. And the thing about a Christian school is we're not hiding our kids away. We have the same issues as public schools do. They're dealt with differently, and it might be in a smaller number, but it's dealt with everything on biblical principles, working together, you're right, rowing the same boat in the same direction, and I think that gives kids such a nice, firm foundation.
People interested in seeing, you've got a couple of events coming up. First of all, a preschool visit day. What's going to happen there?
We're trying something new. We haven't done this before. On April 27th, we're inviting people to come with their preschool child to Lake Center during school hours between 8:30 and 11:30, and come see what we do. My students will be there. We're going to have some special activities for the visitors. You do need to pre-register. We want to make sure we know to expect you, but to come and see what we do, spend the day with us.
How do we pre-register?
You go to the website. It's Lake Center Christian, all spelled out, .org.
Okay, and then there's also an open house in addition to the preschool visit day.
Yeah, in case you couldn't come to the visit day, on May 2nd, the rest of the school is going to be having conferences, but preschool is going to be open for parents to come and tour the building, tour the preschool, talk with us. It's not particularly for your students, although they're welcome to come. It's more for parents to come and see what we do.
And the second Saturday in May, May 13th, one of the most fun auctions you're going to find in the county. Jane, tell us a little bit about that. Are you having an auction?
Yes. Our auction is held annually
What kinds of things do they have?
Well, they have all sorts of things. You can bid on a lawnmower. You can get patio furniture. There are trips to places. There are planters. This year they're trying something new. I guess there's going to be a kids auction. Well, there'll be kid
Where
priced.
children can bid.
Yeah, we're not going to auction off kids. No, yeah, kid priced items that kids can auction or bid on.
You do the silent auction more fun than anybody I've ever seen. To go there and bid like a silent auction, and then before they close the table, that becomes its little mini live auction. It's brilliant. I've never seen it, because even then, where instead of swooping in and trying to outbid somebody stealthily, you have to just outbid them there at another live auction. It's so smart. I've tried to talk other people into doing it that way, because it drives up those prices and you just raise more money. So good. In our closing, seriously, minute, we've only got a minute left. For you personally, what has it meant? Both of you have been teachers and you've both developed new programming there at Lake Center. What has that meant to you personally?
Personally, I guess for me it's important to have the chance to be obedient to God. I had never planned to leave my previous job. I loved it there, but when God calls and you obey, He blesses you. And so having the chance to obey and step in and do a new program in a place that's home, because I've been there a long time, my kids have been there a long time, that's pretty cool. And then to meet a new generation. I actually am teaching students of former students, which makes me feel pretty old sometimes.
Oh, my goodness. No, that can't be.
But it is way cool.
It is still very way cool.
It's good to be able to come alongside parents and support them as they are raising their children for God's kingdom.
So well said. Joanne Barber, Jane Harris, thank you so much for what you're doing in our community.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.